All right, now watch this. This time he's going to throw a rear leg round kick. Back over here, Kevin, face me. Now when the rear leg round kick comes, what we try to do is, instead of going way out and around like Kevin did, see, it's more like a Korean style round kick. You want to throw your kick this way, holding guard. But whenever a person is standing, there's always a gap between the tip of the elbow and the body. So you throw a round kick, we don't need to go way out this way outside trajectory. Matter of fact, you don't even get more power from it. You want to bring it straight up, almost like a front kick. See, my knee's not even flexing. See, it's like a football player kicking the ball. See, and I want to go right up in there, and then right at the last minute, what I do is I roll the hip, put the shin bone in there. In kickboxing, I come up with this. God didn't make our hands for punching. He made them for grabbing. He didn't make our feet for kicking. He made them for walking. So you got to be careful what we do with the body. Years ago in boxers punch, they never threw a punch overhand that direction. All right, come back this way. So when they started wearing gloves after the Civil War, then they started creating overhand punches. Up till then, they punch outside in, always use the underside of the hand. Same thing now when you're kicking. If I'm kicking below the shoulders, I want to hit with the shin bone. If I kick the neck, I like to aim for the head. When I'm kicking the neck or above the shoulder, I always want to hit with the foot. Got that? So now, when Kevin fires that rear leg round kick, okay, and when you're positioned, you're moving this direction, so you're sort of taking some of the sting off the kick. When that rear leg round kick comes, there's two ways I can deal with it. Back up here a second, Kevin. One is watch my body. I don't want to drop the hand down and catch that kick, leaving the head open. What I want to do is I want to use my body for blocking. So I'm going to collapse my front knee and let the elbow come down against my side, and I crunch a little bit. So the round kick comes, watch it, boom. I'm catching it sort of with the elbow. See what I'm doing? The tip of the elbow next to this hip bone called the iliocrest, okay? Now watch it again. The power hits so hard. Yeah, Richard says hard, I went up and moved my microphone, you know, so people hear on the mic. All right, now watch it. When he kicks, you see Thai boxers block when the hand's out this direction. I don't like that. In boxing, when we block, we keep this wrist curved. So if he hits the outside of the wrist with a kick or a punch, my wrist doesn't collapse. And when you block with your wrist straight, that's what will happen. So I keep the wrist curved and I extend the fingers a little bit with the glove, give me a little more protection to the head. Now if the kick comes underneath the arm or a punch, instead of dropping the hand, leaving the head over, I drop the knees down. If it comes in front of the elbow, I roll the hip forward. If he hits behind the elbow, I'm going to roll the hip back. I don't want to be moving the arm if I can help it. Notice when I block, keeping this palm facing me, called supinated as opposed to pronated. When I turn it pronated, you see a lot of people blocking this way. It's hard to get the elbow and the hand close to the chin. That's about as close as I can get it. All right, now if you got no bicep, no pectoral muscle, no lat, you can probably do anything with the arm. But what I do when I block, I turn one hand supinated this way. Because when it's supinated, I can bring the hand all the way up to the head and the elbow all the way into the body. And then I'm turning the other hand pronated away from it. So when the kick's kind of slow motion. When the kick comes, see, boom, I'm catching this way with two hands. And notice when I'm blocking back reposition, I always shift about 10% more of my weight towards the incoming kick. So when the kick comes, see the kick's coming at me in this angle, not from that angle. It's not coming straight, it's coming in. So I'm gonna let my weight shift, watch my knee shift in the same direction as incoming kick. And I block it, back reposition. So what I want you to do is move around. He's going to fire a few rear leg round kicks. When the kick comes, just practice catching it. Move around, rear leg round kick comes, just practice catch it. Boom. And be careful because he might bring one straight up rather than outside in. Just try a couple of them, just see what happens. This is what we call a defensive sparring drill. Move back towards the center here, guys. Yeah, you're interacting. It's like what we call you're learning to block. You're working on your defensive skills, which is the third level sparring. The fourth level sparring, if you read our black belt manual, is called defensive sparring. Okay, that's good. Now, if he's kicking a little harder, you know, because you got these two little forearm bones. You got the ulnar bone, radial bone, and he's kicking with that big tibia bone on his leg down there. That's going to hurt. So, against a power fighter, because Kevin's kind of thick. Did you get that kind of thick? Now watch. A good hard kicker, although we're working with a southpaw now, a lot of these principles carry over from one type of fighter to another. When he throws a rear leg round kick, watch my front foot before you move. Watch. I'm going to pivot out. I'm going to pivot on the ball, the rear foot, and pivot towards my backside. So I'm pivoting out to my outside. See it? So when the kick comes, slow motion. When the kick comes, see, here comes the energy this way. I'm moving away from the energy. And what I'm going to do is I move away from the energy. I'll let both of my hands just sort of intercept the kick. I'm not going to block, just sort of intercepting it, get my hands on it. If I can get my hands on it, I can redirect it, but I don't want to block. This is the difference between a power block and a finesse block. So, for example, if he's throwing like a hard jab at the head and I come in block it this way, that's a power block. Jab again, if I pivot out, slap it down, that's a finesse block. So, against a good southpaw that you don't quite understand, it's quicker to use a finesse block, and it's a little safer. So now watch. Every time he kicks, what I want you to do is when he kicks, step away, look at the first kick. Second time he kicks, I just want you to pivot out and just kind of get the hands on it. That's it. Now try it again, watch it. First time he kicks, just kind of observe. See how well he recovers, see what kind of release he's got. That way I know what kind of timing I'm going to use. I'm going to use defensive timing and offensive timing. Defensive timing, I go before he squeezes the trigger, as he squeezes the trigger. Defensive timing, I'll let him kick. Then after the kick, since he's recovering slow, I'm going to go in his backdoor. I prefer to use backdoor type timing, especially if the guy's got too much hang time on the end of that kick. All right, now watch it again. When he kicks, just step away and observe. Next time he kicks, pivot out, just intercept it. All right, try it a couple times, see what happens. First time he kicks, just use the range. Good. Move around a little bit. Next time he kicks, just pivot in, intercept it. Now watch it again. Watch this feature. Be careful when you're doing this pivoting. If I move the rear foot, that's called pivoting out. But the problem when you pivot out like this against the kick, you turn your back to your opponent. See, that ain't going to pop you. All right? So I always want to keep both eyes on my opponent and never turn my head to the point where if I close the front eye, I still can't see him with the rear eye. That means you turn your chin too far. This is the toughest part of your head. You always want the toughest part of your head facing your opponent, not this weaker part. All right, notice I've said before, whenever babies fall, they always fall face down. That's Mother Nature's way of protecting the brain. Now what? When he kicks, don't move the rear foot. When he kicks, I'm going to move the front foot to my back side. See it? And here I'm just getting one hand this way, the other that way. I just intercept it, get my hands on it. Once I get the hands on it, now I can take it down or redirect. Got me? Let's try it again. First time he kicks, just avoid. All right. Next time he kicks, just pivot out, intercept it. There you go. Good. You got me? Now, once I'm good at intercepting the kick, I can get my hands on it. Now I want to use a little control. So, first time he kicks, I move away. Second time he kicks, I just intercept. Boom. Third time he kicks, I'm going to redirect it. He kicks, intercept, redirect. See, I turn him. And from here I can go, I can shoot for the legs, do a takedown. See? You can't back kick. Leave the back kicking for the horses, okay? You karate guys stay straightforward, okay? Now watch, again, slow motion. When he kicks, pivot out, intercept, redirect. See, set up the counter. All right, try it now, see what happens. That's not going to be easy. Takes a little practice. Avoid, second kick, just see if you can get your hands on it. Good. All right, not too hard, just let it flow. Pivot out. There you go. Good, good. You got the idea? Sure. Takes a little time to get that down. Now, of course, a southpaw can kick with the front leg. If he's throwing a round kick on the front leg, I'm going to pivot in. See, as I pivot in, I'm going away from the energy. See, the energy's coming this direction. So I want to go with the energy. Back reposition. Just like they teach in Aikido. Face me over here. You want to ride the energy, not resist it. It's like when a guy fires a punch or kick, see, you make him miss. You don't follow the punch back in with a counter, because I'm following back in, I could be walking right back into a counter punch. So as he punches, see, you ride the top of it. You ride it and boom. Instead of riding and following. You never follow a punch or kick in. You always ride it. Now, if he's kicking with the front leg, watch my rear foot. Round kick. I'm going to pivot in. See, I'm pivoting in. We know you can kick high, Kevin. Back reposition. All right. Now, as I pivot in, I'm going to use my hands to sort of intercept the kick. Round kick, just use the hands to intercept it. Once I can intercept it, now I can redirect it. He kicks again, intercept, redirect, set up the counter. In boxing, it's a word called covering. It makes you look like the armadillo stance, or what they call the log cabin stance. Covering is you put your chin right in the crook of the arm. See, like this? And you take your rear hand and you use the forearm or the hand to protect the solar plexus. This is a good maneuver for you grapplers that want to shoot in against a good counter-punching southpaw. All right, now watch. When the side kick comes, you're going to drop back, roll the center line. All right, next. As he's kicking, I'll take my elbow, pull it to the hip bone, and leave the elbow there. Do not bring the elbow up when you block like most karate people do. Leave the elbow there, and we do what we call a pendulum motion. The hand cuffs down. See it cuffing down and down like a little pendulum motion. Okay, see what I'm doing? Right back, reposition. So when you side kicks, just practice turn it and catch it. All right, now fire it in a little harder. Just turn it and catch it. Turn it and catch it. Again, just turn it and catch it. Then, as you turn and catch it, you can turn it down a little bit. Now, if he's driving on the kick, drive it, show me back a little bit. If he's driving on the kick, see like that, you want to be off balance. What's the purpose of blocking if you're not going to counter? If you're not going to counter, just step out of the way. Now, if he's shoving the end of the kick, what they call a thrust kick, some people, what you want to do is, on the end of the kick, watch my footwork. Don't move yet. Kevin, you're done to hit me. Go on. Okay, watch. I drop back with the front rear foot. I roll close in line. I start to do the pendulum block. Now, notice I'm doing the pendulum block. Notice my shoulders protecting the chin. And I got the rear hand here for entrance. I protect the chin in case he does a hip fake and then comes in with a back knuckle instead. Boom. I got the rear hand to catch that, or I can rock back. Or if he gets that side kick inside my front hand here, see it? He gets in, I got the rear hand here, I can catch it with a fist or with a hand. So this hand is actually stopping it. This hand is using a pendulum motion, see it? But now watch this carefully. If he's driving on that side kick on the end of it, see if he's kind of shoving, just start shoving a little bit. See, he's shoving me. What I do is I bring my front foot back to take the energy off. That way I'm still within range to step back in with a counter if I wanted to.